Welcome back to another episode of Everyday Integrity. I'm your host, Dawn Vitale.
And I'm Margie Bowling. Let's get started.
Okay, today we're talking about this idea of just this, that life is happening right here in this moment, and that what's actually showing up in front of us, just
hmm
this thing
hmm
that's happening, is the only thing that's really happening, and it's the only thing that we need to solve. And Margie, I know you have some insight on this, just this. So why don't
I'll
you
I'll give
give
it
us?
a whirl. Yeah. So what I got from this, and the opportunity I see what this is trying to pull from us is um, clearing out that story, right? So we we might perceive something happening to us, and I think as human beings, we might be like a runaway train to what's happening to us. And it can just be like vomiting in the space of what is happening. And it has all this meaning and takeaway from it. And there is what is happening, and then there is the fantasy, right? What is happening is just this, and how we can clear out the story and all the noise, right? And get to one statement of, oh, this is just what is happening. Just this,
Yeah.
only this. And it's a fact, right? Like,
Yeah.
can you think of an example?
Yeah. So, well, the first thing that comes up for me is like catastrophizing things, right? Like this idea that, like, when something happens in our lives, that it's a bad thing or a good thing, we give it a label. And then, even if it's mostly if it's a bad thing, we'll catastrophize the whole thing. And then we'll decide that there's all these other things that are happening around that thing,
hmm
and that all those other stories about the thing create it bigger and more problematic than it really actually is. Um, I'll give an example. I had years ago, I had a breakup in a relationship, and the person was like, "Well, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean it's over?" And I'm like, "It's over. Like, it's over." Um, and there was things that had to be separated, including personal belongings and such. And like everything became a catastrophe about the thing. All the things that had to be separated, um, animals, like all the things that needed to be
It was a
separated.
whole thing of each and everything. And it sounds exhausting.
And it wasn't exhausting for me because I was ready. I was done with the relationship, right? And
hmm
so to me, it was easy to detach because I was already mentally checked out of the relationship.
hmm
And so I saw it very differently. I saw it as, this is a breakup, and this is what happens in
hmm
breakups. And we're going to split everything down the middle. You're going to take
hmm
your stuff, and I'm going to take my stuff. And whatever's left over, we're going to either give it away or sell it. And then the other party was like, well, like, what do you mean? Like, no, we're not. Like, first off, not agreeing to like the change in the relationship.
hmm
And then every time there was another layer that needed to
hmm
be separated, made a story about it and made it
hmm
worse than it was, and then created stories around that to other people. And it basically snowballed into
A
like
lot of
other,
rabbit holes
and to other
and pulling you
areas,
back.
and pulling other people in, and it got so intertangled. And it didn't really have it. All it was a breakup.
hmm
And
Just this.
it was
And
it was just the
and
end.
maybe in your case, it just this was happening is every time the other party wanted to make something about it, you had to say just this. Um,
Yeah, and
when
I don't
when
I don't
there,
want to minimize anybody else's, like, they're right, like someone who's on the other end of that. Like, I don't want to minimize that they're not feeling something. Totally get that they're feeling something.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like what you are taking on as a result of that, because you can choose, you came into it with your own meaning. It's okay to have the feeling, the moment, the meaning around it. But instead, you keep turning your attention to whatever is happening, truly happening, just
Yeah.
this, and acknowledgement, allowing, and acceptance. So when there's other parties involved, I think, and there's maybe not a coming to the same just this, that you have to say there's a cost of not saying, I'm going to fight you on this, instead of recalibrating and going, this person doesn't see it like this in the moment. It's just this. And saying, I'm willing to let something go because I don't want to keep staying here. We're moving on.
Right.
And to allow, you don't see it as this is, I wanted the kitchen table. That's all it was. Well, I want the kitchen table. You know what? Is it worth it?
Take the
So then you
kitchen
bring in,
table.
it's not worth my time.
Yeah.
It's like, let go of that meeting and to acknowledge, allow, and have acceptance to move on. And that's where I was thinking as you were talking is there's the thing, right? And if we have some honesty and humility to acknowledge what's happening when we're stuck in the story of this other person is, I don't get why they don't understand that kitchen table is mine. How did they not see it?
Yeah.
And what that does is there's a cost to it of you're staying in the past. You're not moving forward. And sometimes, like, do you just so bad want this to be over? Yeah, this thing, I just want it over. But if I don't have like this radical honesty and humility and just say, it's just a kitchen table, for the love of God.
Yeah.
What is going to happen if I let loose of it and have no meaning or significance, let the other person have it? I'm moving forward into the next thing, and I want to move forward. I want to create a potential of a new future. So to me, the just this is moving forward.
Yeah. I think it's really that simple. I think it's okay to see different perspectives about the same situation. And
Yeah.
when you peel the layers back, the reality, it does, like, if you take the emotions out of it, the reality is, in that one instance that I was sharing, is it's just this. It's there's a breakup. And take the emotions out of it, take the years or the things, the belongings, the personal, things
Mm-hmm.
that you shared with one another. Take that out of it. It's a breakup. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing that you do is going to make it feel any better in the breakup, right? Um,
Yeah.
and you don't need to solve anything. You just need to, like, look at it for what it is and for what it
Mm-hmm.
isn't. And you still have to separate the things, right? And I
Yeah.
mean, I'm talking about a breakup in a relationship, but just this could be any sort of fracture in any relationship. When you have a conflict with another person, there's all this noise, and you really have to parse through the noise to get to that one thing that's really happening, so you
Yeah.
can answer that and solve that question of, like,
Yeah.
what is the this that's going on there.
And I think of it as a trade-off. There's trade-offs in a lot of things. And I think of sometimes when I get to, we're talking about just kind of being a place of neutrality where there's a removal of the sting of the emotions and it's just neutral.
Mm.
It's just this, it's only this, and it's neutral where I'm like, gosh, I don't have to expend it. And it can be an invitation as that, and it be as challenging as it is beautiful. And so I just think about how do I be neutral? How do I the trade off? Because I'm economics, I'm sales oriented, I'm numbers, metrics. What is the trade off? Am I willing to do that? Oh, totally. That's so much easier. Instead of making it something and squeezing onto it, because everything's impermanent, right? Everything
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I mean, some things that people can be thinking about in this regard, it could they can reflect on like um what is just this moment like mean, right? Like
Mhm.
what if I stop looking at all the noise and just look at like put the full attention on the root of the problem, the one thing that is the problem. And when you find what that just the thing this thing is, like be present for it and really just I guess answer what it's
Yeah.
asking you to do.
Well, you talked about turning it into a catastrophe. So the cognitive behavior answer to that is that what would happen, it's called decatastrophizing. What would happen if you played it out, the whole scenario, as a catastrophe? You will eventually get to, let's just pretend we're going to go with the catastrophe. What would happen if that happened, if that happened, if that happened? When what you get to the end is the decatastrophization of it, of what you perceive to be the catastrophe. And you know what that is? It's just this. It's just this. That's the storyline of it. That's a tool. Just play it out. It becomes just this. That's all. I lose the kitchen table. That's the catastrophe. Oh, that's all it I can buy a new one. I'm going to buy a new one I like even better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
You got it. You got this.
yeah.
This is it. Boop, boop. So big.
All right. We hope you got something out of this. Have a namaste.
Bye.
I just